Emotional Clinic, giving you advice and treatments to your emotional needs. Beam TV, a broader perspective.
We are here to celebrate 9 years anniversary, and without this person, this other person that is talking would not have any reason to be here. So I want to introduce to you my husband of 9 years, my friend, my sweetheart. I call him Sugar. You know the reason why I call him Sugar? You want to know? Because it's 100% sweet. You know that anywhere you cut sugar, sugar is sweet. Inside, outside, around. So help me receive. You call him Soul Brother. A round of applause for Pastor Elana.
I will always say that she has a way of serenading me, and you can tell why I propose quickly. This kind of mouth will make you propose quickly. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We really appreciate your coming today. It's really going to be a wonderful time. We are specifically having this audience because the intention is for us to not only celebrate, but to draw inspiration and carry it across the society. So we believe that today we will learn, we will laugh, and we will enjoy ourselves. So ladies and gentlemen, everything is going to be about the number 9.
Okay.
And the 9th alphabet.
Should I tell you 9 things that interest me about you? 9, very quickly now.
I really want to hear.
Okay, first is that you are very kind. Kind. See, we are letting you. If you're not kind, you're on your own. Okay, and you are very sweet.
Sweet.
Don't ask me to define it.
You know me.
And you are very nice. Nice is a dimension of kind.
Okay.
You are nice. That nice is just general niceness to everybody around. And you are very godly. I didn't want to bring that one first because of those spirit. The return spirit. And I like that spirit. Yes, every man is governed by some spirit, and that's the spirit that will telling you things to do. Thank you for obeying the spirit, and you are very humble, down to earth, easy going. I'm added to it now. That's finished. Don't worry, you will tell me about my own. But first, we are going to deal with this set. What do you think? Have you seen what I am seeing?
On the set?
On the set?
Yes. I see inspiration on the set.
Oh wow. I see purpose on the set.
I see beauty on the set.
I see grace on the set.
I see someone set to be on the stage, on the set.
Okay, so let's join this set as we make it. Wow.
Emotional Clinic, giving you advice and treatments to your emotional needs. Beam TV, a broader perspective.
You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This segment will be dealing with the issues on marriage and society. And actually, the anchor will be Lady B. So she will be the one to put our very, very delectable guest here. I wouldn't call it the hot seat, I'll call it the love seat.
Oh, love.
For today, it's called the love seat. So you're welcome, sir. You're welcome, ma. We have here in our midst Pastor and Pastor Mrs. Achibo.
Let's round of applause.
I admire them so much. I'm not given to flattering, but I've seen a couple of things that I really admire about them. You can see unity when you see them. You can feel love when you see them. And you can see people with a sense of purpose. And this is why we are here to your family. And we are glad to have you in this week. You're welcome. So, the lady that will soon be on the stage, you can take the stage now.
All right, thank you very much. Today we are glad to host Pastor and Pastor Mrs. Anibetu Wanampede as they celebrate their 9 years anniversary. Please clap for them. All right, our focus today is on marriage and the society. The society that we are today have different conception about marriage. They have a way they view marriage. Some people see marriage as a contract. The public wants to know from you. You've been in this industry I call it industry, for 9 years. And you've been in this industry for 13 years. And the first 7 years, there was no issue. All right, so we want to know the things that spice up marriage, the things that single people like us should know, so that when you go there, you will not be surprised that you say, oh, I better stay in my father's house. First and foremost, you told us the 9 things that attracted you to this handsome young man. Young man.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hear from you. What made you to think that you can stay with this beautiful lady, this pretty lady, for the rest of your life? Because the way I'm seeing you, in short, you are so blue that you don't even want to leave her one bit.
Marriage is a covenant. Now, this covenant is originated and supervised by the creator, the initiator of marriage, and that is God. It's not a contract. Contract you can go in for 2 years, 3 years, and sign out. The contract term is over. Now, even if the contract term is for 50 years, you can breach it at some point, but not like that with marriage. Marriage is a covenant with God. Covenant that God supervises between two people, and we must get that straight. Now, understanding that, I personally had to take my time to seek God's face. I started praying for marriage right from my first year in the university. Not that I was ready to marry, but I knew that I was going into something that...
Make way.
Yes, I was going to something that there is no graduation. I had to take time to prepare for it, and in the process I learned some things, yet I wasn't even ready. I found out that I'm going to get married to someone I have to stick to for the rest of my life. So I must get someone that I will appreciate, I will respect, I will admire, I will love, I will work for the rest of my life. Yeah. So that means I need to prayerfully search for that person. You know, the Bible said, he that finds the wife finds a good thing and obtains favor. So already a wife, whether she's physically beautiful or not, is already by God's standard a good thing. And that once I meet her, she is my good thing. And then finding that good thing, I begin to obtain favor from the Lord. So those are the things that were my underlying principles, and I think it helped me, and there are more.
All right, please clap for them, clap for them. All right, he has mentioned a couple of things that he promised himself that he's going to be in marriage. Now, over to you, as if we feel that.
Very well.
Wow, please clap for him. All right, we'll come back to you. Let's go to Pastor and Pastor Mrs. and Neviot Wanabede. Yeah, what's it also? 9 years in marriage. The first 3 years, there was no issue? Good. Whether you plan for it or it just happened, but that's how a society looks at couple that cannot give birth 1 year, 2 years, 3 years in marriage. How were you able to manage the pressure from the family? I don't know if your family pressurized you.
I don't think we had any external pressures, so to speak, that we were aware of. You know, there's how somebody will just pressurize herself on your behalf. And you are not aware. You know, one thing my mother kept telling me, I mean, after the first year, for the first year, we were just honeymooning. After a year, I was like, hey, wait, no, honeymoon, wait. I've always been dreaming of having children. So I started calling my mom, Alpha, have you noticed anything? He said, what? I said, so are we not going to do to her? He said, what's that? Please, stop disturbing yourself. Children, he kept telling me, are you ready for children? Eh? Now I wish I knew that I would have said, Lord, let it be like me in 5 years. Because when they started coming, you know, one after the other, a colleague of mine said I worked at, Ma, the only thing we are seeing in your file is maternity leave. I say, and so shall it be. And don't get me angry. If you get me angry, Ministry of Health will have to arrest me to stop, you know, because God has in His time decided to visit us. So I believe that there should be no internal pressures. I mean, if you're bad to your spouse or you're harsh to your spouse in that waiting moment, imagine that God just opens the door, pam, the person has 3 in 1. How will you keep your face? And I say, hey, God, sorry, I didn't really mean that, you know. I believe that's why God brought me to somebody like Pastor Wanambede. Very sweet.
Okay, so let's hear from Pastor Wanambede, the soul brother. Please.
Well, I believe that one of the things that will help in such a condition is for you to build an independent home. It's very clear. A man shall leave his father and his mother. Many people have not left. You have to leave physically, you live emotionally too, live even financially. So unless you have left in those three dimensions, they will still have some form of control and influence over your life. And that's what interrupts the peace in certain homes. So the key thing is to build an independent home. You won't have any stress.
I believe there are some things that you've seen in marriage, or you saw in marriage before now, that you said, is this what I came to see? Can you share with us those things?
Love covers a multitude of sins. And I stress the word multitude because no matter how much the sin is, love has a power in marriage to cover it. So if you love your spouse, those things will vary. I can't really stay here and say, oh, I don't like this about my wife. I'm not aware. Wow. That's the truth. So I can't really say, this is what I don't like about her. I don't know. So the answer to that your question is, there's nothing.
Mrs. Ashibom, as a woman, if I should go back to what the question I asked before, you stayed for 7 years without having a child. I know that it's not that easy. How were you able to manage and still keep your family intact?
First of all, I did not have external pressure from my in-laws. Of course, my mother-in-law loved me so much. It's late now. So I think the pressure I had was more internal. That's me. My husband wasn't bothered because I kept running from hospital to hospital, test upon test, and he wasn't really bothered. And sometimes, I had people coming to talk to me. Why is your husband not bothered? Are you sure he does not have a child somewhere? Why is he not bothered? What's the problem? And one of those days, I can remember, I mounted so much pressure on him. Let's go for a test. They are not bothered. And we need to really be careful of the things we hear. Because he was like, okay, go for the test, I'm not coming. And I said, no, you need to come. I'm sure there's a problem with you. That's why you don't want to come for the test. And finally, he decided to come for the test, and it was okay. And I was the problem.
There was a day the devil told me, this girl you want to marry will not have a child. But I'm sure she said that for the first time now. This girl you want to marry doesn't have a child. He won't have a child, leave her alone, and then marry somebody else. But I know that God will not speak like that. And if God will not speak like that, that means that was the voice of the devil. And the last time I checked, no matter how the devil fast and pray, he can't tell the truth. Yeah, so it was no, I didn't need anybody to tell me that was a lie. In fact, that made me so assured that she will have a child. Alright, so those days came, and I wasn't bothered because I know that we're going to have children. And in fact, at some point, to make the devil very mad, I used to call my wife the mother of my children. Anytime I hugged her, I would just say the mother of my children. I started addressing her like that, the mother of my children. And I told her that we're going to have both sexes. We're going to have both sexes. Now, the testimony is that when they started coming, we didn't need to pray again for them.
How did it come?
Well, okay.
And let me say that because he was all through the years, it wasn't like he was bothered. In fact, the first day I found out I was pregnant, I was feeling somehow, I was in church feeling somehow, and my tummy was actually disturbing me. So I said, let's stop in a pharmacy, let me get drugs. He said, let him get it, and I said, no, because I want to buy a pregnancy test strip. I did not have any reason to think I was pregnant. I just said, let me try if it's, but inside me, I knew that I thought I wasn't pregnant. And so he stepped out of the room and I checked, and I saw that the 2 lines. I couldn't believe it. I was sweating. I ran to the light, used all the light to be sure that I saw well. And the children came from a prophetic declaration. The prophetic word came from a pastor. 9 months from now, you will return. That day was very different because I had goosebumps all over my body. It was so different. That day was so real. I went back, like I remember before I left, went to church that day. we were already late for church. But I found that I was snapping so many pictures that day. And when this pregnancy came, I now said, yes, I can remember that day. I now went to check. I now saw that the day I snapped those pictures, when I counted it, it was exactly 9 months from that day. And you know, the most interesting part is that when the doctors brought out the baby, one of the things the doctor said is, there is nothing God cannot do. That my tubes were twisted, they were something was on it all along. So it only took the power of God for anything to go through that tube and for me to get pregnant. And immediately after that, okay, my second child too was a prophetic word, you will have a son in March. And the devil fought it, but I thank God that he's alive today. And the devil lost it. And the third one came 2014, 2016, 2018, 2020. You just said that the wisdom is profitable.
Wow. It's like you have what to say.
It's just so amazing. I mean, what else do we say? And God is very, very faithful. God is faithful.
Beam TV, a broader perspective. Beam TV, a broader perspective.